This podcast is presented by the Petite Victory Collective. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Modular Stories. In this podcast, I would like to create a platform for people to share themselves, their stories, their experiences, and their life lessons. Before each episode, my guest can build and patch their own background music with the help of my modular synth. My goal with this podcast is to inspire the listeners, spark their creativity, and to share these incredible people I get to talk to with the world.
Oh, here. Okay.
I hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Modular Stories. Today I have Natascha with me. Natascha is a singer from Artes, and why don't you just introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, hi, I'm Natascha. I'm from Germany. I'm a singer-songwriter and singing teacher, and I currently study at Artes in my second year.
Yes, very nice. Thank you so much for being here. We just recorded.
Thank you so much for having me.
We just recorded a whole ton this week. You are part of a very much process of the second year's composers.
I feel like this room is now my second home.
Yeah.
I've been here more hours. I'm not kidding you. I think this week I've been here more than I actually spent time at home. So.
This might just be true. Yeah, we're in the main studio here at Artes, and this week we had our deadline for the Peter Pan radio play that we're doing.
And because everybody recorded super early.
Yeah, well, we had to get the okay first from our teachers, and that was this week as well.
Yeah.
So we actually are recording quite early still.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. We had to sing ourselves at first to like give a demo, and then we wanted somebody who could sing to sing the songs for us. So everybody asked Natascha, of course, and now you're part of like 3 Peter Pans.
Yeah, 3 Peter Pans. Yeah,
that's nice, and that all happened this week. And then we also did a cover of an 80s song, "Separate Ways" by Journey.
It's so good. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be super fun. But that was super fun. So you've been here quite a lot this week.
Yeah, like I said, this is my second home now. I might as well just put a tent, you know?
Oh, that would be really nice, I think.
Very handy, actually.
I mean, the room is really quiet. You cannot hear much outside. It's really nice room. The sofas are nice.
Yeah, but you cannot really sleep on them. It's not really.
Yeah, then the tent might be a good idea.
The tent might be a good idea. Yeah.
No, but it was actually also super nice to record with you, I realized.
Thank you.
Like it was super easy.
It was a lot of fun.
It was super fun, and you came well prepared. You were always professional and always like, let's do it again. Can we do this again? Can we do that again? Hey, can we change that? Yes, of course. It was really, really easy.
Thank you. Thanks.
It was super cool.
I had a lot of fun, but it was super challenging because I basically recorded the same 2 songs for 3 different people. Like, it was always the same lyrics, but different harmonies, different melodies, different rhythm. So in my head now, I have the same song 3 times, but with like different melodies and everything. It was really
was it really confusing for you?
No, not really confusing, since I took for each of you, I recorded for 3 people. For each person, I think I took half an hour to prepare.
Okay, yeah.
So it was not like I knew the song super well, but if I would have taken like 3 hours per person and learned everything by heart, then it probably would have been a bit weird.
No, I get that. I mean, I don't know the other songs, to be honest. I haven't heard them because we don't really interchange that much. But I know that from me, at least, when I hear a song in like a version for a long time, and then I hear another song that is like the same song, but they're sang by somebody else, I always get very picky about changes. And
yes. No, but like you guys did so different things. Yeah. I mean, you and Luca were kind of close. Yeah. But Patrick did something completely different. So that was actually, that was okay. I think if you would have done, I don't know, the same changes but different melody, then I would have been more confused. Yes. But like this, I think it was fine. No, but I'm really excited to hear the final results.
Me too. It's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But you guys will also at least see the Separate Ways cover. We're also going to do a video for that.
I hope so.
And it's going to be super nice.
Nice.
But I wanted to ask you, how did you actually start singing? What made you go into music in the first place?
Oh, we're going way back. Way back. I had my first singing lesson. In the beginning. I had my first singing lesson 2011. And my mom always wanted to convince me as a child to take singing lessons, but I was always like, no, I don't want to. And at some point I was like, yeah, okay. Then in high school, I actually chose arts over music because I didn't want to learn all of the music theory. Yeah, I don't know. And then at some point, I sang a lot. I was very active in my local church community. And at some point, there was like a gospel band as a guest in our church. And they heard me just, singing along on the hallway. And then they just very spontaneous. Apparently, they saw me somewhere else, but they asked me there on the hallway, me just, humming, singing, walking. I think I even went to the toilet, right? I went to the bathroom. And they like, hey, we have a gospel band. Do you want to join? And I was like, sure. And then I went there. I sang there for a very long time. I think 7 years.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
And the level difference from what I did before, just like singing a little bit with friends in a church community is just really different from when you then have a gospel band with
of course.
Our pianist, Michael. He's amazing. He's really good. He taught me a lot about phrasing and expression and articulation and stuff. And then I really noticed that it's a lot of fun for me to actually dig in, and also that I just pick things up quite quickly,
No, for sure.
You like doing things you're good at.
Yes.
I don't like to dance, but I just cannot dance to save my life. But I could sing, so I had a lot of fun with it. And then I prepared for, it's kind of an vocational school for music. And I prepared for that. I learned all of the music theory. I didn't want to learn back in high school. Yay. But actually, I got accepted there. And then I really liked music theory. That's a totally different topic. But in that school, I kind of did that. It was to become a singing teacher in rock, pop, jazz. So in modern music. I did that for 3 years. And I basically did it to figure out if I really want to do music. Before I went to that school, I had an ex-boyfriend, and at the time he was my boyfriend, of course, and we played a lot of music, but I still wasn't sure if I want to do this, if it's fun enough, or if it's something that I want to do so bad that I can imagine doing it for the rest of my life, or that I can imagine doing it really as a job and not as a hobby. So I went to this school, and after those 3 years, I just totally fell in love with doing music. And then I applied on a lot of conservatories and universities for music. Yeah. And now I kind of ended up here.
Kind of.
Yeah, the thing is, I really wanted to go to another place. And even when I took the train to Arnhem to... For the entrance exam, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I really don't want to go. I really don't want to go. I hate it. And then she was like, Natascha, just go. Then I was here and I talked to people and I loved it so much that it was a very spontaneous decision when I got the when I got the message that they actually wanted me, that I just said yes, and that's how I ended up here. So it was not really that Artes was my dream school. Yeah.
But how are you feeling now, 1.5 years in?
I love it. I would not give up the experience for anything in the world. I think it was the best decision. I always, as a child, even said, I don't want to stay in Germany. I think Germany is boring. I want to go in a foreign country. And I always wanted to go to America or the UK. But it's just so expensive. It's to study, even in the UK, is just so expensive. And I think the Netherlands is a good... alternative.
Yeah.
I'm also in the process of learning Dutch because I think I live here. I just really want to learn it. I'm also not sure if I want to return to Germany immediately after my studies. So I'm learning the language and I'm really trying to get settled here.
Yeah, you're really trying. It's incredible how fast you picked up Dutch and just started talking to people in Dutch, and I was just like, dankjewel.
Dankjewel, meneer.
That's all I knew, and probably also still know, and the swear words. But you were incredibly fast at that. It was super impressive.
Thanks, but I always feel like I'm cheating. Every Dutch person is like, wow, you're learning so fast. What I'm doing is I understood the basic Dutch sentence structure, and then I just use German words and make them sound Dutch, and it works 70% of the time. And sometimes I say incredibly offensive things, but... people have to deal with it.
And that's part of the game, then you have to have some risk in there.
Exactly.
But that's super nice.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I like the country, I like the people, I like the language. So, and of course I like my studies.
No, of course, but it's important. I feel like, especially if you go like to the UK or the US, with the incredible high cost of your study, you feel like much more pressure as well with it, that you really have to get somewhere, or that you really have to do your best every day, every second, to just be sufficient for the money you're spending.
Yeah, exactly, and to like get your money's worth.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like with here it's a bit more chill.
Yeah,
it's alright. You can take breaks, and also I feel like this school allows you a lot to be yourself and to just figure stuff out.
I always say it that I cannot speak for all German conservatories for music, but a lot of my friends are musicians and they actually study in German schools, and a lot of times I feel in Germany you study and you come out as a great player. You like go out of your studies and you're just technically super skilled. Basically, if you study jazz, you can play everything. It's great. But here you also go out, I feel, with a vision who you want to be as an artist. You get a lot of... We have to do business credits, for example, but also we can do like... I think we have one elective where we can like stage presentation and stuff. And that's so cool, because that's also such an important... Especially for me as a singer, it's really important who I want to be on stage and who I want to be as a person of the public, as a person... who is...
No, of course, it's really important. You have to take care of, like, especially as a musician or as a creative person in any field, you have to take care of like so many different things that you really have to get good at that before like really going into the business. And I feel like the studies and our tests are a quite safe space to try yourself out.
Yeah. And
to find out things about who you want to be, who you are already, and where you want to go. Whereas, again, if you go to the UK or the US, you feel like, okay, I have to do this now. I have to go this route. And if I think, oh, well, maybe, I want to go in another direction, should I change the field of study or whatever?
Yeah. Maybe it's more ambitious even. Yeah. And what I really like about this school is that you can be quite interdisciplinary. Yeah. Like, I know you work a lot with the dancers also.
Yes. Yeah.
And I work a lot with you guys, which is also nice, for the future. To know who you would come to if you needed something produced or if you needed someone to record you or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what music school is a lot about as well, is the connections you make with people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like here it feels like really a family in a way. You know, you hang out together in your free time. We have bars where we go every week together. Tonight and just hang out and be together and there you build a connection that is worth so much more than just the working field, and that makes it also so much easier to work with somebody,
exactly. I really like that also, that they encourage us, it's not like, oh, you have the possibilities, but it's like, guys, you have the possibilities, you should do it. And that they're like, really, we have a project where we actually have to collaborate with people from at least 3 different disciplines.
Yeah. The Pleasure Island.
The pleasurest of all islands.
Whoever came up with that title, I want to know that story behind that title. Who thought that was a good idea? I feel like
it was an intern,
Probably, yeah. But it was super nice. You did it last year as well.
Yeah.
And you had a really nice project with Luca and Tiro, Claudia, and
Luca.
Yeah, Luca.
Luca.
Sorry, yes. And do you want to tell a bit about your project there?
It was so dumb. It was
super funny though.
I don't even know how it started anymore.
You started drawing trees.
Yeah, that's what we started. Our idea was, that if you draw something in blue and red and then you put blue and red light on it, that like every time one color disappears. Like if you put blue light, then all the blue things disappear. If you put red light, all the red things disappear. That was like the initial idea for the project. But I don't really remember. We wanted to do something like a criminal case. We wanted someone dying. So I don't know how it ended up, but I wrote a really chunky song about a guy killing his girlfriend because she's super annoying. And then I don't really know what happened, but before that we had a whole theater play. But first we just wanted to, nicely record a story. But then I was in the vocal booth reading what was on paper. We wrote an entire story, and I made so many mistakes that we kept all of them in and just made a really funny performance out of it. I wanted to say mushrooms for 3 times, and I always said mustaches, like beards. It's so
But
dumb.
it worked so well. Like if you don't know the story behind it, it might seem just weird. But if you know the story behind it, if you know how it like came to be, and then you see people on stage just putting on mustaches, and you're like, I know what's happening. It's so nice, and it's so nice that you played around with and just like kept the mistakes in. I feel like that's a really nice thing to do, and it worked so well for that.
Yeah, but also thanks to Tycho, because he really has a feeling for what the crowd will like.
Yes.
It's really...
It was super fun.
Yeah, it was super fun, but I doubted myself a lot in the process. But in the end, it turned out great.
It really did. It really did.
It's hilarious.
But let's put the finger on here. Do you know what you want to do after the studies already? Do you have a plan there? Did you figure yourself out yet? What's happening, Natascha?
I'm a little bit intimidated right now. No, I mean, I have plans. I feel like as a musician, you cannot say, I only want to play concerts, because I feel like not even 1% of the people who come out of this school will actually only do what they came here for, will only play their instrument. Since I already did this vocational school for music, like this apprenticeship thing, I'm a trained singing teacher, vocal coach, and actually also choir conductor. Didn't do it for years, but my certificate says I can do it. And I also did band coaching a lot. So I can definitely imagine teaching, but I would like to keep it like 50-50. I don't want to be a teacher who also plays.
Yeah.
I would like to go in the direction of a playing musician who also teaches.
Yeah.
I have right now, because studies is only 2.5 more years, right? Those 2.5 more years will pass by so fast. So right now I'm trying to build something for me that is hopefully sustainable. I have a duo with a great percussionist, and we're trying to go in the direction of like Latin, jazz, pop stuff, because with percussion he plays a lot of conga, so we're trying to make it work with vocals, because I think the special thing about is that we do not have harmony. So we're really trying to build an acoustic set for us right now. We recorded 2 singles. I'm super excited for that. Then I'm trying to build my own project. I write a lot of vocal arrangements. I could definitely also imagine, because I write a lot of vocal arrangements for my own stuff, but also just I like a song, I write an arrangement. Yeah. So maybe selling those arrangements, stuff like that. I could definitely imagine like doing a lot of things. I would love to sing backing vocals professionally, because I think that's really nice. It's also really hard and really challenging, and I think that's nice. And I would love to be like also a studio musician, just backing vocals in the studio when people need me.
That sounds like a plan.
I have like...
Yeah, but I think that's important. If you like have a spectrum of things you can offer, then you have all those talents, so why not use them?
And especially because our studies here are so broad, I'm now trying to elect subjects that will help me
in all of it.
In this, like becoming that.
Yeah, I think that's really a great plan.
Yeah.
And
hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, you never know what's going to happen, but I think for me at least, it sounds like you know what you want to do, and that is really nice. And that I think it also feels like you have so many talents and so many different talents that you just don't want to focus on one thing and waste the others. And there you could have much more variability, variation.
Think especially as a singer, because there's such an overload of singers on the market. I mean, let's be honest, I'm replaceable, but I want to make myself as unreplaceable as possible. Of course, I want to be the singer everybody calls when they need someone.
Yeah, you want to be the first one they think about when they need somebody.
Exactly. And I think for that, it's a nice quality to be as broad as possible. To have talents in a very broad spectrum.
No, that's really smart.
Just, we're gonna see how it works out.
No, yeah. But you also write a lot of music yourself, as you
Yes.
said, with Caetano, with the duo.
Yes.
You're doing a lot of original stuff. I remember the beginning of it, when it all started, and you were like, I want to work with Caetano. I want to try this weird thing of just having vocals and percussion.
You know how it started?
Tell me the story. I was there,
Eddie?
but I don't remember.
We went to Eddie's place.
Oh, not again.
I think he was on the last episode of your podcast, right? Yes. And we went to him. I'm not sure if I was drunk, but I drank. And I think Caetano also drank. And in the beginning of the first year, you have to find your duo partner yourself. You can choose anything, but it should not be like a second melody instrument. It should be like a rhythm instrument, like drums, percussion, or a bass, guitar, or piano. And I was like, I want to challenge myself. I worked so much with pianists, so much with the guitarists. I want to challenge myself. And then drunk on this party, I was like, Caetano, what about you and me?
Yeah, Eddie seems to be the matchmaker there. I mean, he gave our band our name. That's what I said. Where I said like, oh, not again, Eddie. He just puts everything into place for us. He's like a little puppet master above.
Maybe
So
we
nice.
have to hang out with him more.
Yeah, we should. It definitely helps projects and creativity.
We could make him our mascot.
Oh yes, Eddie. If you see this, text us. We are interested in working with you.
No, but it was really funny.
Yeah.
And then in the beginning, we had a really hard time because I never worked only with a rhythmic instrument. I mean, congas have pitches, but it took me a long time to figure out how to make it work. We had some troubles. We really had troubles in the beginning.
I remember.
I was just like, what am I gonna do with him? Am I gonna switch to a partner? Did I choose a challenge that I cannot master? Did I do something that is just not the right time? But then we kind of clicked. We did one song, we clicked, and then after the year of dual class, which is in our curriculum, so we have to do it, we were like, you know what, let's just continue. And now we're doing it without school. We're just recording on our own, writing music on our own. We're working on a cover acoustic set right now. So
that's nice.
Things are, things are going
fun.
Somewhere.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also still have to finish Daisy.
Yeah.
We still have
I
to
listened
do
to
that.
it today.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had Jasper on the very first episode here.
Yeah.
And we also talked about Daisy was the song we did for our introduction week.
Yeah.
Our first week's band in school. Natascha was our vocalist.
Hi.
And this is Natascha, if you haven't caught on. And we wrote this song in a day, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had chords and Jasper was like, oh, those are great, loop them.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, looking through my phone. I have this like huge, chunky lyric, just one note, and it's just super long. And I just went through it and I was like, yeah, those are lyrics. I'm just going to sing them over it now. And it worked out perfectly.
It worked out perfectly, but it was a great combination.
Yeah.
And there I felt the same thing that you felt with Caetano that you were talking about with at first feeling like, okay, it's a challenge. And then you get to a point where you feel like, oh God, this isn't working.
Yeah.
This is so hard. But I feel like this is the point where it's super important that you have people around you
who are also determined to go on.
That want the same thing and that you pull on the same string. Because then, after that point, if you make it work, as you do with Caetano, as we did with the song, you really create something special. And that's when the magic happens, if you get over yourself and try new things that you haven't done before. And
exactly. And it also creates kind of a feeling of community, I guess.
Yes.
And a sense of unity, because we wrote the song in an evening, not even a day. We wrote basically, I think 80% of the song in one evening.
It was then the first 2 hours of practice.
Then the next day we were just like, oh, we can do anything. And then like we were so motivated also that it kept us going.
Yes, but I think it came back again to being a community, as you said, because we knew each other beforehand. Not really long, But we had some encounters before, and because we had the project week, and before the project week there was the introduction camp.
Like literally camping. We were at the house with all of the people who had allergies, right? No, you were there.
Well, that's another story. Well, and before that we had the introduction days, the international introduction days where we met the first time and already like kind of clicked in the beginning. And just went for like a nice dinner with everybody in the evening. And then the next week we had an introduction camp where we drove together. And I think he really, really hated my driving for some reason.
I don't know.
We were like 5 people in the car, and we were close to the camp, and we were just looking for a place to park the car. And suddenly I hear screaming from the back.
You tell it as if it was so dramatic.
It wasn't really. I was just driving, and then suddenly I hear the screaming from the back. It was dramatic for me. And Natascha was just like, it sounded like she was really crying. She was like, Tim, you gotta park here. Please, you gotta park. And I was like, oh God, what did I do? But
you know, looking back, I really don't know what happened in my head in that second.
Me neither, because I was just like driving along really slowly, seeing which
there were like
side.
a few. I really don't know the English word, but like those speed bumps.
Drempels, yeah, speed bumps.
Yeah, and I remember this, and at some point I was just like, Tim, you gotta park now.
I was really scared. I didn't know if you had to puke or whatever. I don't know what was going on. But it was.
I also really don't remember what was going on.
It was iconic story. And then we went on and got to the registration of the camp. And again we were there with Luca, Patrick, you, and us two.
Yeah.
And we all went there, and then there was a guy sitting.
No, wasn't it Max? Was it Patrick?
Patrick, yeah. And then we had to sign up that we are there, and then we got assigned a camp house. And so Patrick, Luca, and Natascha got to a house.
Vliegenzwam.
That one. And then the guy looked at me. You in the creep house. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, because you have so many food allergies, we put everybody with like weird shit allergies in the same house. And I looked up at him and I was like, what? All right.
What?
And then I actually went to that house, and I went in and put my stuff on the bed, and there was like nobody in that house. It was super creepy.
Really? I didn't know that.
And I was really frustrated because I really wanted to get to know you guys.
Yeah.
Because we came there together, and then I was just sitting alone at that house, and I called my mom. I was like, what shall I do? I don't really want to be here.
Please take me home.
Please, what is happening? And then my mama was like, well, didn't you say Natascha was vegan? And I was like, yes. Well, then you have the same allergies as Natascha, because I cannot have milk products and you are vegan. But for me,
oh, that's true.
It was the same thing. That's why I came to your house. I was like, okay, the food cannot be that bad, because if you can't eat it, I can eat it too. And
but I think for that week I didn't eat vegan because it was just not possible. I don't know how about you.
I mean, we just had pasta and like tomato sauce.
I feel like I just ate bread with butter and hagelslag. It's the hagelslag is the little chocolate sprinkles. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I didn't die, so I think it worked out.
Oh, you didn't? Good.
Yeah, but I also heard stories from the creep house, and apparently there it was really horrible because they actually had some allergic emergencies. So actually, like, people puked on the floor or like just passed out. It was horrible.
Good that you didn't sleep there. Yeah. Oh, I really didn't know. Oh,
yeah, that would have been a scary situation. And now it was just really fun, and we had a great time at the camp.
We had a great time with the camp.
I remember we had a like silent disco at the last evening.
That was so. I still have the video.
Yeah, it was horrible. We had a silent disco, so we all had headphones. And then we all did karaoke, basically, with headphones.
It's so funny because I took the video, obviously, without having the music, right? Yeah. So on the video, you see people vibing and singing to music, but there's no backing track. Yeah. So it's so horrible. It sounds
so horrible. But it was really funny to see that video afterwards. And we were all like, oh, yeah, that's so hyped. That's such a cute video. And really, it was like, exactly. Not good at all.
No, but in the moment it felt like a good idea.
It felt so nice, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice evening.
That was super nice, yeah.
It was the last evening, I think. The silent disco was the last.
Yeah. It was nice. And then there came the whole introduction week, so with the band.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we already knew each other, and I think coming back, that was a long story, but coming back to that really helped us creating that song, because we already knew that we were kind of on a similar way.
Yeah.
We talked a lot in the car as well.
I forgot that we were talking about Daisy right now.
Yeah. But because also I think we were talking in the car a lot on the way back from the camp or something, where you told me about your book.
Actually, you know what? I'm not even sure. I think after that introduction week, you went home to your family again and called me on the way from the car. I think we had a super long phone call.
Yeah, it was a super horrible phone call as well, because I went to all the places where there was no connection. So we actually had
7 phone calls.
18 phone calls that just went 2 minutes where I was talking, and then suddenly I was like, Natascha. Not there anymore. And then I just hung up and called again. But there I think we really vibed, and we really seemed to know that we are on a similar way and similar pace and doing similar motivation. But I think there you already told me about your idea with writing a book and writing music for that book. Is that still a thing?
Still a thing. I think since then I did not write one more sentence. But the studies are just so intense. But still, I'm writing a book, and I plan to write an album for the book.
Yeah, this is going to be super exciting. I think that was one of the first projects you told me about, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's really something special.
Yeah, I also never saw you see a lot in books that there's a playlist in the beginning, or lots. You see it in some books. There's a playlist in the beginning where they say, okay, chapter 5 was inspired by that song, or I listened to this song while I wrote chapter 5. And so you can kind of, get the mood, because a lot of times what you listen to influences your writing.
For sure.
But I really want to create an experience that people can actually listen a song that I wrote about the chapter, and I want the book to give more of a backstory to the album. I want to give the album maybe more of an insight into characters' heads that just does not fit in the book. Also, because music carries different kind of emotions.
Sometimes it just doesn't work in words.
Exactly. And but I want both of them also to work autonomously, and I want to put little Easter eggs in. So there are already a lot of Easter eggs. Like I wrote my favorite chocolate into the book, stupid little thing like this.
No, but it's
for everybody
exciting.
Who wants to gift me chocolate. Real Swiss chocolate, black chocolate with orange splinters in there. Great.
Now you know. If you want to make Natascha happy,
give me chocolate.
Chocolate with orange sprinkles.
With orange sprinkles. It's really good.
Original Swiss.
It has to be the Swiss one. Yeah, please.
Don't fuck it up. I mean, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Excuse me.
All good. But I want to ask you one last question.
Sure.
If that's all right with you. I always ask these my guests, and I think it could be really fun with you. So, I read this book called The Cafe at the End of the World. No, it has a different name in English.
I don't know, but I know I didn't read it, but
The Why Are You Here Cafe. That's what it is in English. Oh God.
Oh, and, good name.
Yes, it's a really good name.
Ooh, I only knew the name of the book in German. I didn't read it though.
No, but it's an incredible book. You should read it. And it's really about finding your purpose in life and finding out who you are.
Find your why.
It's really this, but on a bit more of a sorry, Peter. On a bit of a it's a bit more nicely done and a bit more subtle than just now tell me, Natascha, who do you want to be? What is your why? Why are you doing this? It's a bit more subtle.
Have a therapy session with your friend.
And it worked really well in the class, but the book kind of gave a bit more feeling to it.
Yeah.
And after that, he wrote a second book called The Big Five in Life, referring to these purposes for existing from the first book.
Oh, I didn't know it was the same author.
It's the same author. But in that book, he has a really nice theory called the museum lives.
What?
The museum lives. I will explain.
Okay.
And
explain.
This is what my question is about. Again, if you don't want to, you don't have to answer. That's all good.
Sure.
But the theory claims that after you die, you go into this museum, and you go into the museum of yourself. So you go into the Natascha museum in your case.
So I see my life.
You see your life, and you see your life accurately portrayed. So whenever you do something and how much time you spend on something and how much energy you spend on something, you see that represented in your museum.
Question: do I see it from my perspective or do I see it from an objective point of view?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's the timing is objective. So if you sleep 8 hours a day for your entire life, which you don't, I know, but if you would, it would 1/3 of that museum would be filled with sleeping. So that is accurate. That is objectively accurate. Okay. So you have to choose your time wisely in order to show what is happening in the museum, and then you can choose yourself what do you want to show off that. If it's like pictures or...
So I can make our own exhibition?
In a way. Mm-hmm. But the question is more about if you know of this theory, what do you think you would like to be in your museum? What would you like to spend time on in your life so that it will be represented in your museum? Is there something you would like to change? Is there something that you spend way too much time with right now that you don't want to be seen in your museum?
Funny thing that you say that. I... last week deleted Instagram off my phone.
For example.
I know that's not where you want to go, but...
I don't want to go anywhere. That's the whole question. I'm just interested in whatever you have to tell me, and that is interesting.
Okay. Actually, less Instagram time, because it's so dumb. I deleted Instagram off my phone, and I tell you, I have so much more time in my life. No, but... I it sounds so, delete Instagram, so pretentious. But I swear to God, I had this 15-minute time limit on my phone. I always 15? No, it was 30 minutes actually. But I always went over it and then I put in the code and then Anyways, now I have to use Instagram in my browser if I want to see something, which I sometimes have because some business things just go over Instagram, But the browser thing is so fucking annoying that I not once in the last entire week went over those 30 minutes a day, which is great because I don't want, if I in this museum, see my time spent
just
on Instagram.
Scrolling on Instagram.
Well,
of course.
I mean, it's nice for inspiration. I have on Instagram a whole folder with songwriting prompts also, which is great. Yeah. But I don't want to scroll through reels. Yeah. And I think I would go to that museum and see myself doing things that I like, that I enjoy. I don't want to, because that also, everybody asks me, Natascha, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I don't know. But I see myself doing things I like. Yes. That's why I'm studying music. My dad has a company. He asked me to actually study economics and take over his company. My stepbrother does it now. I don't know how much he earns, but it is definitely more than I will probably ever earn, But I didn't want to do that because I want to be happy. Yeah. Probably he's happy,
No, but
it's just not
you
me.
are not happy in that.
Exactly. So I would want to go to the museum and see my time spent in a way that I look back and I'm like, wow, it's not a waste. And I feel that my time is wasted less when I work hard on the things I want to do. I'm working hard for my music. I'm working hard. Also, I'm working on myself, right? Because you cannot forget that you need to work on yourself also to reflect about yourself. And especially as a musician, because you're basically always reflecting on yourself through your work.
That's true.
And I want to spend time with friends and family. Because I think I noticed a lot since I moved so far away from home, or from, it's not really home anymore, but from where my family lives. Yep. It's 800 kilometers. I cannot go home for a weekend because I don't have a car, so I have 8 hours of traveling time. So I really value now spending time with friends because my friends are so far away. So I think those are the things I want to see represented in my museum.
That's
super beautiful. I don't
want
to see myself. I mean, I need to sleep, Still,
that's
there will be
1/3
of sleep in that museum.
Imagine having that museum and there's just this really large corner of sleeping bags, your ambient music in the background, just you humming along, and then you have birds whistling and
I'm gonna sleep already.
Could be nice to have a sleeping corner, but it's part of life, so it's part of the museum.
Yeah, sure.
But I think your answers are really beautiful. I really feel that.
Thanks.
One more thing that got added to the museum, by the way, through Donna, that was on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a little wall of people. Just people that inspired you and people that changed who you are. That really, looking back, made you feel like, oh wow, through these people I really became a different human.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to tell any or... If,
I mean, you don't know the people, you know?
No, that's okay. But this is like your Oscar speech now. Your Oscar shout out to whoever.
I'm very bad at this if I don't write it down.
But you don't have to. I don't want to...
No, but I think I had a friend in like secondary school. It was not high school. It was like, we call it Realschule. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And she once told me, Natascha, you're a self-centered bitch. And she was a friend of mine. And then I was like, I don't want to be like that. And that really changed my perspective. Also, like, how I reflect on myself.
Yes.
Not that I reflect on myself, but also how I reflect and how I see myself. And I think that was the first time where I thought about, okay, not who am I, but who do I want to become at some point. And that was really nice because that really changed my personality in regard of talking to other people and interacting in a certain way, because I'm a single child. And you noticed that back then, you know? I was like really, and I think that was a huge thing. And my best friend, she's still my best friend. Hi, Alina, if you're watching this, I love you. Like, through her, I think I really learned how to talk about emotions and really opening up and really be honest, not only to others, but also to myself, which is really nice. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think those are the two people on the top of my head. Probably there's more. I mean, of course, my parents.
Yes.
Love you too. But, you know, hi, Dad, I love you. You won't understand this. He was like, send the podcast over. And I was just like, Dad, it's in English. So you won't understand.
You can give him a live transcription. Just watch it at home and be like, okay, right now I'm saying this. Now I'm saying this.
So stressful. No, he should learn English.
No, but thank you so much for being here. It was super nice.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
No, thank you so much.
It was my first time in a podcast. Hopefully not my last. It was really fun.
Of course.